Good morning. Welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot, Taurus, and your second half of March reading. From the get-go, I'm going to tell you that this reading is very different. The cards kind of took on a life of their own. They set themselves up a little bit. I had to kind of release my control. My original plan that I had for the layout that I was using for all of the signs, you kind of took on a life of your own and did your own thing. And as it turns out, that is exactly what your message is this month. It was a really, it all made sense once I started to read it and understand it. And it does also go very well with your astrology, and it's very Uranus. As we talk every month, Taurus, in every reading, we talk about Uranus in your sign. But this month seems to be extremely special. Now that Venus is with you as well, she's touched upon Uranus. I think there was a little bit of an awakening I'm sensing in my Uranus people, in my Tauruses, that Uranus kind of came and brought some maybe sudden realizations or sudden, like I said, awakenings that could really change everything. They change things at the core of who you are and how you process things. Now, Taurus, I love you. I adore you. I adore your dependability and your honor and your dignity, which you always carry with you. But it looks like you're being asked to sort of release old beliefs, old maybe plans on how you thought life was going to go, and you're kind of being forced to let go of any illusions of control. This is, all of the signs are going through this right now. As Jupiter meets with Pluto, divine energy starts to step in and deliver to you what you need on this path that you're on your journey. So for everyone, it's going to be a little bit different, but I can tell one thing's for sure: it's extremely life-changing. And if you allow it, if you let go to the rigidity, if you connect with spirit and the universe and truly have faith in what is meant to be, and you allow this to unfold, it could bring you an intense level of happiness that you may have never experienced before in your life. But these journeys are not easy. In the dissolving of the ego, in the letting go of your sense of control, it could be extremely frightening. And so for all my Tauruses out there, I send you love and support. And if there's anything I could tell you at this time where you're at, this is the good stuff. This is the stuff that makes this journey here real, and it makes it worth it. It may not be an exact amount that you had hoped to be in the bank. It may not be the partner you planned on appearing in your life. It may not be the perfect house, the perfect career move, the perfect job, the perfect office. It may not look the way that you planned. But if you let go and allow, I think you're going to be shocked by what the universe really does deliver. I think in a lot of ways it could be much more beautiful than you were even able to imagine to begin with. And that's a lesson here for Tauruses that are willing to let go of the control a little bit and allow the universe to bring in what's trying to come in. There's an immense feeling of growth and expansion and real beauty. But you could also choose to stay stuck in an energy. You could also choose, there is free will. And it's kind of like staying on a karmic cycle. And if you refuse, then the universe will allow you to stay here on this path, and you'll have that same job. You'll have those same partners come in and out. You'll continue to experience the same things until you get bored of them, because that's what Uranus is going to do. Anywhere where you feel bored or complacent, Uranus is going to make you move. It's not going to accept anything that feels that way, because Uranus it's waking up. It's waking the bull in you. And it's giving you these sudden kind of electric messages to go after things. So, I mean, you could be exhibiting behavior where all of a sudden you're chasing after or wanting things you never thought were possible, or maybe never would have interested you before. Maybe you are falling for somebody that would have never been your type in the past. That's what Uranus does. But then for a Taurus, and there's a lot of sword energy here, so you may also have some air sign qualities in your chart. But I think it's getting you a little bit in your head, which is exactly where you don't want to be. So let's take a look further into the astrology before I dig into these cards. Again, the reading, the layout is a lot different than any of the other signs, so bear with me. I'm going to try to get through this. It's long, but it's really important. So, Taurus, what you need to know first and foremost is, well, let's start talking about Saturn. Saturn is making a major ingress from your 9th house into your 10th. That tells me that you've had to clean up a lot about what you believe in. 9th house represents, karmic justice. It represents higher education. So there could have, foreign matters, long distance travel. But really, I like to think of the 9th house is what you believe your place is in the world, because it leads you to the 10th house, which is what you are meant to do. It is your path in this lifetime. So the 9th house is kind of how your beliefs set you on your path to your destiny. And so Saturn, along with Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto, is kind of rewiring these beliefs, and it's causing you to ask yourself, the bigger questions. Why am I here? What am I meant to do? This could bring major career changes. It could bring changes in your love life. I mean, everything in the 9th house is kind of all cooked into one. So those are changing, but Aquarius is moving out of that 9th house and it's dipping into your 10th house, which means, okay, now it's time to put one foot in front of the other. Now, Saturn is slow moving and it's very respectful of time, and it doesn't allow shortcuts. So you may be on the precipice of a big change in your life, but it's not going to be sudden. Now, the awakening energy that's coming in from Uranus, that's kind of more mental. I mean, things could be happening 3D, but it's changing who you are at the core. So again, so much change and transformation for Taurus. You guys are really getting molded into a whole nother life. And now is a critical time in that. Saturn will move into your 10th house, which is going to bring more discipline and more responsibility in your career. It's going to dip in there at the same time that Mercury is kind of moving back into Pisces. So there's an energy where something gets lit up really quick in the 10th house. Something brings in, or something happens in which this 10th house area changes for you. New opportunities open up, and it's kind of like okay, this is being opened. It's being handed to me. It's being delivered. Things are dropping in my lap, and I know that I have to take them. Saturn's telling you move slowly. move deliberately, move intentionally towards it. Not too slow, Taurus, and you don't usually have a problem with this because you're slow moving anyways. But I think what Saturn wants you to do is take the way that things changed for you in that ninth house, your ability to change your mind and change your direction, and bring that openness into your 10th house and start allowing those things to happen. And you sort of have to have a lot of faith in the universe at this time. Neptune, Mercury retrograde, this past, and the sun, all happening now in your 11th house of wishes, hopes, and dreams. This is a really beautiful placement. This is, again, an area in your life where gains are happening, action is being taken, love, career, it's all encompassing, connections, friends. There's so much coming to light here. And it's like your soul is kind of being lit up. Your dreams, there's whole new dreams being born here. And it's a little bit hazy as the Mercury retrograde went through it. So maybe in the past month or so, it's been like, again, oh my gosh, everything I wanted, everything is different, everything looks different, and I don't know if I can trust it. It's hazy. There's a lack of information. This is very much a leap of faith that you're going into now. So it puts you at a crossroads of, do I trust the universe or do I stick to the tried and true? I don't know where I'm going at this time. And then we have the sun and the spring equinox dipping into that 12th house. So we're not done yet. We're not done yet because now we're going to dig up some real subconscious stuff. And it has to come to the surface and it has to be aired out in order for you to make the big decisions that are coming. Full moon in your 5th house, this could very well indicate something major happening in the love area or creative projects or even with your children. And I think in the next couple of weeks as we go through this, now remember this reading is really just for the next 2 to 3 weeks. As we step into this energy, remember that the moon starting today is kind of sweeping through the back end of your zodiac. So you're getting an emotional pull on your 7th house, your partnerships. And then the moon moves into the 8th house, which is your level of intimacy. There's kind of a stripping here. There's an area in which you kind of have to open up, which might be hard. Then the moon is going to touch Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto the beginning of middle of next week, and that's going to be an interesting energy because that moon in the 9th house is really going to bring emotional issues and instability, the feeling like things are changing. There's almost like a loss of control here that's happening over the next couple of weeks for you. Almost like your world is being turned a little bit upside down. There's some chaos. But if you really hone in on your spiritual strength and your faith, if you can allow things to sort of unravel and unfold and don't hold on too tight to things, relinquish a little bit of that stubbornness for a minute, you could see some real progress here. First card out was the Ace of Swords. In the Crowley deck, this represents sorrow. Now, in a regular traditional Rider-Waite, it represents truth, but it looks like whatever truth that had been stumbled on. Now, I'm seeing this as a recent past. I think this has already happened. there was a little bit of sorrow that you had to go through. And it's really talking about communication. It's clarified by strength and the black egg. So here's how I see this being played out. Something may have occurred. Maybe somebody disappointed you. I'm not seeing heartbreak because I feel like it took you into a place where you had to find your own strength. And the black egg comes out next to the cosmic egg. So whatever situation occurred here, it really catapulted you into growth and expansion of the consciousness. So even though this may have been a painful situation, I think you wrote it out, and I think it was meant to point out to you areas in which you may be somewhat shallow or rigid in your life. This is kind of a moment where you I'm not sure what happened to bring you here, but where you realize you're not really happy with your life the way that it is. Things have to be changed. Maybe some things have to be let go of, but there needs to be the allowing for change here. And I think you were able to answer that because then you stepped into an energy where you had to make a choice. Now you might still be here. And I think you're maybe in between these two columns here, but rest assured if you're stuck in an energy where you need to make a decision. Two of Swords, Peace in the Crowley deck. This is knowing that you can't carry on the way that things are right now, and a decision has to be made in order to balance out and bring peace into your life. Clarified by the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So this is pretty astounding because if you see, you're looking to make a decision to bring you peace, and it's peace of mind. It's your thoughts. When we're talking about swords, it's your thoughts, your mind process, the way that you process information. It's your beliefs. It's your ninth house. And this is clarified by the cosmic egg. So I think if you haven't already, this is where you let go. And you sort of take this stance where you're just going to observe situations. You're going to be open. I think there's a level where you cut out things that you knew weren't good for you. Some things didn't make the cut, and it was an intelligent decision backed up by that strength. But then it leads you into an energy as we go through the cosmic egg, the expansion, the spiritual awakening, the allowing. We move into this really beautiful energy, and there's so much here. If you aren't in this energy already, you will be very shortly. So if you're somebody who is stuck, thinking nothing's going to work out, feeling overwhelmed, trust me, it's darkest before the dawn. Things are opening up for you. As long as you're opening up to them and allowing them, these opportunities are going to pour in. And these are destined opportunities. Sorry, it's very early here. I need my coffee. These are really destined opportunities for you. And there's a knowing here. This is where Taurus loses their rigidity and starts to follow their intuition. You may be getting messages, downloads, seeing things, synchronicities, but it's like all of a sudden you start seeing signs. You realize that the universe is speaking to you. So maybe a certain song is coming on in the car. Maybe you're seeing a certain animal. You pay attention to these things because this is where you're going to get your answers that are going to lead you into this whole new life. and they're really important. Pay attention to how you feel around certain people. Pay attention to how you feel at work, in the office. If you're feeling heaviness somewhere, it may not be the right place for you. But if you feel lightness and freeness and happiness, like there's like an inner child being brought out, and you need to pay attention to where and when you could feel that way, and with who. Who brings out that creative, loving energy in you, and who brings out a need to be rigid or small, or there's a need to follow the rules, and you're not real happy there. And this is where the universe is trying to show you via contrast, right? Because when you have Uranus in your first house along with Venus, trust me when I tell you, you are manifesting so much right now. So you really want to harness the good energies and kind of ignore the bad and let them take care of themselves at this time. The High Priestess, by following the signs and the intuition that the universe is guiding you towards, by understanding your body, your reactions, and your feelings, it's leading you right towards the Ace of Cups. And this is the freeing of yourself. This is the ability to love yourself unconditionally and therefore lead yourself towards places, people, and things that will love you unconditionally and bring you happiness, bring you that emotional fulfillment. Now, an Ace of Cups is just simply an opportunity. You choose to take it. And that's why it's coming out with the High Priestess, because Spirit wants you to know that you need to follow that intuition at this time. And it comes out with the Wolf. And man, do I love this Wolf energy. This is such a Taurus card to me, because there's an intelligence level here that's amazing. And there's a protection. I see this wolf as someone who is simply observing something that they love very, very much. There's no movement here yet. I'm not picking up movement at this time. I'm sensing this real calmness, this real surety within you that whatever's meant for you will happen. Whatever's meant to come your way is absolutely going to come your way, and you don't need to go out and get it. You don't need to fight for it. What's meant for you is just simply meant for you. And if you're stuck in your head about things, if there's something you want very much, I think that Taurus is learning that by white knuckling and gripping onto things, you create resistance. And so here's a need to just let go and let be. This is coming out a lot for all of my signs, really. We're just in that place right now. The world is kind of spinning out of control on the outside, and so we're gaining an immense amount of control on the inside. The universe is almost forcing us to say, who are you if you have nothing? What are the things that you're going to hold on to and protect within you? If there's a time in which you lose everything, what's really important? Looking at this with the coronavirus and wondering why people have so much panic, well, we could protect ourselves financially. We can protect ourselves from people, from bad decisions most of the time. There's a level in which we could protect ourselves and we have control over. But when it comes to our health, we get scared. Understandably so. When we get to a place where you are really, I'm not sure I want to say this because I don't want to scare you. The coronavirus is bad, but there's a very real reason why we're experiencing it. at this time. And it's because we have to understand that we've become somewhat of a slave to financial and material things, and we need to find balance in our lives. And where we've sold our souls and become slaves to money, to our homes, you know, there's a level of, I have to have the greatest house, I have to have the greatest car, I have to, because that's what I'm identified with. And if some of that stuff gets stripped away, maybe not in reality, but the thought of, what if it all goes away? Well, then you have no choice but to find who you really are inside, who you really are without that house, without that car, without that job. And that's how the universe is balancing us right now. And, you know, I think, Taurus, you're being asked, who are you? Who do you want to be? At the end of the day, what's really and truly important to you? And it may be something very different than the past 30-some years in which you've brought in a level of stability, a level of, you know, financial stability, or, you know, playing it safe. And now is not the time to play it safe. It's the time to play with your heart. Go with your heart. Your warning, your message from Spirit on how not to proceed is the Queen of Swords in reverse. So I think you're being asked to sit back and observe and not make any rash decisions at this time. Now, some things are happening in our sky that aren't so positive. You're going to have a square to Eris. Then the sun's going to move into Aries. It's going to land on Eris. It's going to land on Chiron. Things are going to come up from the surface, like I said. Subconscious things that make you maybe feel a little bit of instability, a little bit of fear. Maybe even some loss. Now, I'm not at all predicting a loss of a loved one. Please don't panic. Please, please, I'm asking everyone this month to allow the universe to show you how beautiful it is. Don't focus on the fear so much. Focus on how beautiful things are when you relinquish the fear. And, you know, the Queen of Swords is coming out clarified by the hummingbird and the Nine of Pentacles. So I think there's freedom to explore here. There's freedom to know that you don't have to latch on to anything. There is nothing here that you need to hold on to for your stability. You may want or feel the need to hold on to, you know, this is a card of being single. And now may be a time in which you're being asked to share. Hummingbird. Enlightenment. There's an energy around you, I feel, Taurus, that's asking you to please look this way. Look for the signs. We're showing you the signs if you could just listen. And don't stand in a place where you need to keep yourself too safe. If you don't want to entertain a relationship that's bringing you a lot of love, but it doesn't seem safe, or you feel like it doesn't match you in some way, give it another look. Take another look at it from an emotional standpoint and see how you feel about it. This is really just asking you to explore all of the options at this time. Because what's happening is the outcome, art in reverse, which is really temperance. So there's going to come a time where their action will be taken. And I feel like this is coming in April. There's going to be a time instinctually where you know that you can no longer wait. You know, the card of alchemy is something's finished. Something's perfected. Something has proven its worth to you or proven its unworthiness to you. But you will know when it's time to stop considering and start making a move. Now, Three of Cups I think some Tauruses might be moving into a very social time in their life, a time of celebration. This card may represent a reconciliation of a relationship or a reconciliation with a family member or friends. This card could just simply be the re-emerging into a social atmosphere, maybe when the coronavirus scare is up and we're all out of this quarantine phase. Things are going to lighten up. And this is followed by the dragon. You're watching. Or someone's watching you. Either way, there's a situation you're keeping your eye on and you're not sure exactly how to handle it, but that action is coming. And there will be divine answers and divine guidance with the dragon. And it is a profound belief in spirit and faith that's coming for you. And so, again, I think you're being asked to just let the universe deliver this to you. If you're looking for something, if you're looking for a job, don't limit yourself because something even greater than you ever imagined is going to land on your lap. Same thing with a relationship. If you are only dating blondes, you might want to try, somebody with dark hair. This could open you up to new situations, new possibilities. So really the message here is just don't be rigid. And here's where a little bit more of an explanation comes to me in the Akashic Records cards. Now, I purposely pull these when Saturn's making a major aspect because Saturn is my planet of karma, and these cards represent karmic energy that you're working through at this time. And so I see a King of Forces and the chess game. King of Forces is a really beautiful card in so many ways. This represents a man. Now, it could be a female as well, but it's someone that's coming from a masculine energy. And by that masculine energy, this could even be as much as spirit coming to you. There's a very calming effect that this person brings. There's a feeling in which you're safe. And you see how these animals, if you could just, oh, come on. These animals aren't afraid of him. In fact, they respect him. They respect his calmness. They respect his gentleness. And the sky, purple in the back, that speaks to me of, spirituality, of spirit stepping in and opening things up for you. And that you kind of have to be in this energy where you're entirely sure and comfortable with yourself and your abilities. And knowing that you have everything you need. Even if you are struggling for a time, this person has all of the things that they need. And even then, they won't misuse or mistreat or overindulge. There's an appreciation, a level of gratitude that I feel with this card. And maybe you're dealing with somebody who does work a lot with the idea of gratefulness and manifestation. But at the same time, there's something in you that isn't trusting this. The chess game. And if you notice, and I had to read this in the book because I'm not familiar, obviously, with chess, but the queen is down. Very, very interesting. The female energy here is not trusting this. And I'm almost getting is this too good to be true? Do I even deserve this? Is this magic that's coming into my life for real? So your guards are up. The wolf, you're watching, you're ready to protect yourself, but you don't want to walk away from this. There's something almost too beautiful and mystical for you to walk away from this. And so you're in an area where you're just going to see what happens. It's a chess game. So you're coming in with this feeling like you have to be ready to protect yourself, but you need to be careful with that. You need to be careful. You know, there's a level of where you can protect yourself. There's a level you can operate from where maybe I don't want to get too emotionally involved because I don't want to deal with the disappointment. Fine, that's intelligent. But you also have to be careful in the mindset that if you're coming from a place in which this has never worked for me before, I don't believe in love anymore, I don't believe in spirit, I don't believe, you know, if you're coming from a place of lack in any way, shape, or form, you're creating that, you're manifesting it, and the universe is going to deliver. It's going to deliver in ways in which, you know, hopefully it won't make you lose out on opportunities too bad, but you're going to be shown, if you're listening, you know, where you're too hesitant, you'll lose things, and the universe will give you the opportunity to get it back, or something new will come in. I don't see this as being devastating energy, but you're being taught swiftly and rapidly in a series of lessons of when to act, when not to act, when to harness an energy, when to allow. All kinds of things. So you need to be really open in this energy, because what really is occurring at this time, look at this. Look at how beautiful these cards are. It's stunning what's happening for you, Taurus. Birth, a new beginning, a new way of life, a new way of feeling. There is so much beauty in this card. It almost reminds me of the Four of Wands. There's beauty, there's stability, there's opportunity, and it's pure, okay? And I really feel like whoever this energy is in your life that's coming in that you're not sure you can trust, oh, I really feel like you could trust it. In fact, it's giving me goosebumps right now how much you could really trust this. If it's different than what you would normally go after, if it's something unexpected, allow the universe to give it to you. Be open to it, because this is going to open up so much for you. And you're stepping into summer, winter, but yours is upright. You're coming into abundance. You're coming into lightness, into happiness. You're dropping the heaviness you were going through. I think with this Ace of Swords, the Strength card, and the Black Egg, I think there was an existential crisis. It could have been, you know, the dark night of the soul, if you want to be really dramatic about it, but that really does happen. An awakening from your darkness and the stepping into light. And because you did that, because you did what you needed to do, because you followed your heart, and you stayed open to things, the universe is rewarding you right now in so many ways. Things will start to really just happen for you, and there's no need to build a resistance. And again, they're warning you, Winged Messenger in reverse, Two of Roses. And the Akashic field. Ooh, look at that mess there. The green and the blue. There's communication here. Okay? And so what happens is there comes a time, and I think that's the Temperance, the Dragon, and the Three of Cups. Oh, Lord, just let me pick these up. Look at all this. Look at this. This is your possibility here. There's going to come a time where instinctively you know you have to make a decision. And I think you're going to choose what really makes you happy. what really moves you into a happy place. And because there's a knowing there, because you've been watching, because it's earned your trust, okay? But here's the thing. There may come a bump in the road. If you are not communicating your feelings, if you are not staying open to this, like I said, lessons are being taught to you right now. And if you stay open and you're quick to learn them, then it's just going to feel like a little slap on the wrist. But if you make a decision to not open yourself up to this, the outcome is going to be another dark night of the soul. It's going to be another reckoning with spirit, because they're not going to fulfill your dreams until you realize that there's certain ways in which you think, there's certain ways in which you operate that just have to go. You have to let go of things. You have to let go of the rigidity and allow, and you have to be open up to spirit. And you, quite honestly, when you have Saturn and Uranus in these parts in your chart, you're just a slave to spirit until you start really doing what you need to do. So I don't feel dread from this, because I think most of my Tauruses are doing what they need to do. I mean, things happen and you did it, right? And now it's just staying on track. And as long as you stay on track and you see the mistakes that you make quickly and you correct them, if you look to the signs, the universe is guiding you and protecting you. But they can't protect you too much. If you're going to make the mistakes, if you're going to miss out on the opportunities, well, then you miss out on the opportunities. And you have to go through the pain and the sorrow and the healing process, and then another opportunity comes. It's not the end of the world. But right now, I feel, Taurus, that something is being given to you, and you have to make the choice to trust it or not, to go after this dream or not. And I think that Spirit wants you to know that this is a gift, that you can trust it. If you go after it, it's going to be even more beautiful than you could have ever imagined anything for yourself. But if you don't go after it, you're going to miss out on that, and you're going to have to deal with the pain and sorrow of not trusting your heart and not trusting the universe. Palladius, and answer the call. Palladius is all about communication and answering the call. Yeah, this is it, Taurus. You are really at a crossroads between real love and emotional fulfillment or great loss, and you have the choice. I really pray that you choose the love. I really pray you choose the spiritual path that's being shown to you right now. And I'm sending you beautiful vibes and strength in order to get you there. Love you so much, Taurus. I will talk to you again in April. Bye.